Hello, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good tonight. Oh, let's see. I see a few people popping on, and I'm getting back some text alerts that some people are still in dinner, but they're trying to join. So they'll be with us momentarily. Okay. Hey, but welcome, everyone. This is Amy from Seriously Sweet and Cookie Snack Attack. And tonight we are having a little interview. What did I call it? Bake down the dish or something. We were going to get the dish tonight on your escapades on the Food Network, and then talk about the demo you're going to be doing in the Cookie Snack Attack group. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if you are here, let's say hello and let's show Jennifer some Cookie Snack Attack sweet love. You know, it's a great group. We have so much fun. Jen, I'm going to post a few things real quick, just so they show up in the video. If you guys want to follow Jennifer, this is her Facebook page, which will be a live link on Facebook once the video is over. So an easy way to get to her. And then also this is her website, if you'd like to check out her website. And Jen, when we finish the announcements and the greetings, you can come back and tell us what's different about the two so people will know where to find you.
Okay.
And now we're going to say hello to a few people. This is my favorite part, all the meet and greet. That's why everyone is like, what time does the video actually start, Amy? So, Camille, hello. I am so excited for you to see this because I got to take Jennifer's class at CookieCon. She was an elective teacher at CookieCon in Dallas. Did you go to Orlando too?
I did go to Orlando, but I didn't teach there.
Okay, so she taught in Dallas at CookieCon, and it was so fabulous. It was something that for years I have thought was super, super complicated, and she literally just broke it down and taught it piece by piece. So I know you guys are going to get it, and I know you're going to get her teaching style. Hey, Miss Deborah, how are you? Becky is in Texas. You met her when we were in Dallas. Hello, Trisha. How are you? Miss Tracy is here. Okay, now this is probably my friend Nadine. I don't know why, but it makes her authorize StreamYard every time. But Nadine, if that's you, go ahead and give it permission so we can see you. And hi, Lorraine. How are you doing? This is Cindy from Louisiana. We are she's going to be in Reno, we hope. Oh, and you know what, Jen, you've been to CookieCon a lot. So one of the other things we should talk about is like how to tell all the new people to get tickets. Like, because I can't speak to that because someone gifted me my ticket. So, and this time I don't have to be in the lottery for tickets because I'm teaching. So
I've actually never been in the lottery. I've gone to 3 and I've never had to do the lottery. But I do know that how to get around the lottery because I have friends that have had to do it.
Okay. All right. Miss Cheryl, it will be recorded. You can watch it on Jen's page or Cookie Snack Attack or Seriously Sweet or on my YouTube channel. So you're good to go if you can't hang with us. That's Sally. Hello. How are you tonight? Great to see you too. This is so fun. Don't you love it when they're all like active when you're in a group? Deborah's excited about the cocoa butter painting. Trisha is too. Barbie is from Texas. She's saying hello. This is Allison. She is a Virginia local. She loved your class.
Thank you.
She took that the same day. Who is this? Who says hello? Is that a typo or are you giving me a funny there? That might be Jen. Hello there, Sharon. How are you? Hi, Bobby. Oh, no, Barbie. Wait, I just passed. Did I pass Bobby? Oh, in New Jersey. Jen.
Hi, Jersey. Yay.
Hello there. Let's see. We're going to talk about that in just a minute about why you just saw a split second of Jennifer last night. Okay. But she's going to tell you about that. And I have a cool picture to show you. Hello. Hey, y'all. Now, you know, we say all of y'all are you guys. Or youans, right? I don't know. What do they say in Jersey? What do you say?
Hi.
No, we don't say that. Come on, that's too quick. We got to have multiple syllables and they must be stretched out.
No, we're not from the South.
So cocoa butter, she's saying it's easy. Bought some pieces on her cruise last week. Oh, that's fun. So she has cocoa butter from Honduras. You'll tell us about like cocoa butter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see, Allison, I don't think I said buttercream, so I don't know. Don't confuse me.
Do they make buttercream wafers?
I don't know. I don't think I said that though. I was trying to be real careful about what I said tonight. I know, Lorraine, it was so much fun. And you know what I loved was the blending. The blending was so fabulous. Hello there. She said, they say, hey, hey. Well, now listen, if Jennifer Saher was on here, she'd say, hey, hey, what do you say? And she's from Sisters, Utah. I think that's her town, Sisters. And I think it's
everything's
in
quick
Utah.
in Jersey, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's fast.
Yes,
Fast paced. We got no time.
Let's keep moving.
I got no time for nothing.
So this is Heather. Heather's here. Hey, Heather. Let's see. Yes. All right. So we're through our greetings. Thank you guys for popping on. If you haven't said hello, please tell Jennifer hello. Tonight is like a little, what are we calling this? This is just like a little interview, and we're going to have a little Food Network dish and talk CookieCon. And Jennifer and I are both going to be at, what are we going to be at, Jen? So I say the name right?
The National Capital Area Cake Show.
Yes. So we're doing that at the end of March. We're both teaching classes. Jen has a longer class than mine, but we're both going to be there. So if you are on the East Coast and you want to come visit us, or at least come say hello, even if you don't take classes, they can come say hi, right? They just have
there's an entry fee to get into the show. I think it's
it didn't seem like
$20.
It wasn't very expensive. So they can come meet us and at least come say hi, even if they don't get signed up for classes, Barbara. we are a lot of fun, I think. We're entertaining anyway. Hey, Tina. Oh, hello. All right. So, Jen, let me show them the picture that I snagged. And then I want you to tell them about yourself and tell them about Facebook versus
my website.
Yes. And do you also have YouTube? Do you have anything up on YouTube?
I don't.
Okay. So those are your main two, but then you do have Instagram, but you spend more time on Facebook, right?
I do.
Okay. Yes. And isn't this cool? So this is you and your two partners, and maybe go ahead.
I just said it is.
It's Bradley, right? Bradley's in our group too. So if he's on, he should say
That's
hello.
Not Bradley. That's actually Frank. His name's Frank Mendola.
Yeah, wait. So
that's not Brad.
How did that picture? That's not your team.
That is my team. Brad's not on my. He looks like Brad a little bit, but it's not Brad.
No, but it's not him. I thought you guys were on the same team. This is even better. Brad, do you want to join the conversation? You can join. Just send me a message. We'll bring you on at the end, and you guys can dish on each other. Was it fun? So that's right, though. It's not him. I wondered if maybe they piecemealed that. All right, here we go.
No, that's actually my team. That's
your team. So go ahead and tell them a little bit about you, both your pages, and then tell us how Food Network came about.
So I'm Jenn Moshier. I'm from Prima Cakes and Cookies. I am a hobbyist. That I have a full-time job that I program for a living. I went to school for graphic design, and then when I started programming, I needed an outlet for my art. So I started, doing cake decorating, and it all came about because I always watched Food Network. Always watched all those competition shows. I've been watching them since like 2010, 2012.
Wow.
And I was like, I know I can do this. It's like, there's just, I'm an artist. I can do this.
I should point out behind you, that's a whole wall of awards for shows, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, I love it. Tell
and
me
a lot of them
later.
Are from the National Capital Area Cake Show.
Oh, fun.
So when I got into the decorating, I started competing because that was my way of doing, my art. And I just very competitive edge. I'm an A-type personality. So I started competing in 2012. I entered about 2 to 3 shows a year, and very often came home with ribbons. Thank God.
Nice.
Very fortunate. Sometimes I don't. And I started, the shows I started in are smaller shows, which Virginia is. It is definitely a smaller show. It's a lot smaller than CookieCon or even SoFlo. I started to go to the bigger shows, and competing still there. And I don't win as much there, which is good for my ego, knock it down a few pegs. I can't always win, and I know that.
Do you primarily enter as a cake artist or a cookie artist or both?
So when I started, the first 2 or 3 years was just cake. Then I found cookies. So then I started to enter cookies into shows, and then I found sugar, and I started doing sugar sculptures.
Okay.
And at the National Capital Area, they actually have a category just for sugar art. So I compete there most of the time. with my sugar sculptures. And then how Food Network found me, they scour Facebook and social media. And so, me posting and my constant wins, I don't know, are there keywords that they're using that I'm not sure about? But there was a casting company that just scours social media looking for people.
Fun.
They had contacted me and asked me if I was interested in applying. So I had a phone conversation with them, and then I did a Skype type meeting with them, and they asked me to fill out the application and submit a video and some pictures of my work. And they're like, okay, well, what happens is they'll take pieces of the interview, put it together, and they send them all off to the producers, and then it's up to the producers. They have no idea.
Oh, that's
the producers
fun.
Then just pick from, I guess, a lot of videos.
So was it an email or a phone call you got?
I originally got an email.
And so did you get that email and think, oh, this must be spam, or this is the real deal?
No, because I'd actually gotten it a few times. I've actually applied a few times before they actually finally took me.
Okay.
It's a few years in the making.
Very nice.
For me, at least. Some people they may take right away. I don't know if it was, when I first had my first interview, I was scared, so you're always nervous. And
right.
I knew I had to break out of that. And I think I got better at my interviews every time.
Well, you know what? It's not easy to be live.
It's not. Well, the thing is, this last time I already started doing the lives with Nancy and the Cookie-a-thon. So it definitely helped, and it broke me out of stuff.
Yeah, gets you out of your shell a little bit, doesn't it?
It did.
By the way, we can talk about Cookie-a-thon later too if you want to, because it was a fabulous 3 days, wasn't it?
Oh my God, there was unfortunately I missed some of it because life gets in the way.
Yes.
But yeah.
But I know you bought extended access, right?
Yes, of course. The only way to do it. Because then I was able to go back and watch some ahead of time, which was nice this time.
I can't
like this format better.
I can't handle the pressure of not having extended access, because then I get upset with people, right? Like the first one that I was watching before I was ever on it, I was at my store and it was Saturday and it was super busy. And it was like, someone just walked in the door. What are you doing? I'm watching the tutorial I waited for 2 weeks, right? So now it takes the pressure off everyone. If I don't see that.
Like I missed the box one because I think I was making dinner or something. And I'm like, okay, well now I can go back and watch that.
That's so fun. So you have to have it. So I always tell people it's totally worth it because there's so many. But go back to Food Network.
So, okay. So they then in May gave me a call and said that I was chosen to be on the show and if I was interested. And then it was like a mad scramble to ask my boss if I could be gone for a month.
A month? You were gone a month?
I was gone a month.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So were you freaking out because we're still in the pandemic, all the protocols and stuff? Or was it okay?
Yes and no, because I had already been vaccinated. I had 2 vaccines already under my belt at that point. Okay. So I was feeling okay. Things had started to calm down. Gotcha. So it was just this past June. Okay. So, I don't know if I would have done it last year.
Gotcha.
This year I was starting to feel okay. It was my first plane ride in June. So it was that was a little weird, but I was wearing a mask and I was like, you know what? I'm okay.
It's Dallas was my first time actually, on the
plane. They quarantine you for 3 days when you get out there.
Okay.
And then they were testing you for COVID every 3 days, every other day. So I felt safe.
Yeah, because everyone's getting tested, right? So it was okay.
Right. So and it was always on set. Unless the cameras were rolling, everybody was wearing masks.
I gotcha. I was going to ask you that. So mask off if camera on, and that how you did it?
And the crew was constantly in a mask. So even, when we had our masks off because, we're doing stuff, they still had them on. So I felt fine and safe and it was good.
Yes. Yes. So when you're up there, your actual show was Holiday Wars.
Correct.
Okay, so tell me about why Holiday Wars is different than the other shows that you can apply for.
So there's Halloween Wars, which is obviously all Halloween themed. Holiday Wars is mostly Christmas themed. Okay. Sometimes they do throw in because this one they did throw in Thanksgiving on 1 or 2 episodes, I think.
Okay.
Then there is the Christmas Cookie Challenge, which is but
Halloween Wars and Holiday Wars are cake with
They are.
Okay.
So those two are the only ones that are similar, where it's a team of people that you don't know until you get out there.
Okay.
So
That must be stressful
that's
in and of
interesting.
itself, right? Because
So
what if you
that's
don't
very
gel?
interesting, is working with two people you've never worked with before.
And you don't know how people react when they're stressed.
Yes.
That's more of an issue than anything else, right? You need to know they can handle a fire.
Right. Well, so what's funny is my husband thought I was crazy for accepting this, because he has seen me when something doesn't go right and I'm freaking out and screaming and cursing.
Yes, and going nuts, right? He's like, "What are you doing? You're going to do this
not going to
yourself
be
on
able to do
purpose."
this. But I was actually very proud of myself. I did not have one meltdown. So
that is like major territory right there.
that is. I was like, this is good. I'm good. I can do this.
So we now know if anyone wants to invite Jennifer to be on a team, she can handle the pressure of the Food Network and the unknown quantity of not knowing the people she's partnered with.
Yeah. So, so the teams are usually like, I think one is supposed to be like a baker, a cake decorator, and then your sugar artist. They always definitely have a sugar artist.
Okay.
So I was the sugar artist, and Frank was supposed to be the baker, but he ended up being the decorator, and Angela ended up being the baker / decorator.
Well, as long as everyone's strengths come to the top, I imagine that's the important part, right?
Yeah.
That's really good. What was Barbie's asking what the name of your team is?
So our team is called Three Pipers Piping.
I thought that was so
which
cute.
Manit had a very hard time saying.
She did?
It was a tongue twister.
Did she stumble on it during the show? When
no, she's just like, there's a really tough. They're the tongue twisters.
Oh, how fun. So Charlotte, type Jen a message right here and tell her where you're actually on the train ride. Tell her where you are right now. I love this. I love that people watch from so many different places. So you're up there and you guys are starting to compete. You're good. You feel safe. But where were you filming? You were in the United States, weren't you?
We were in Utah.
Okay. How was that?
It was fun. I didn't get to, unfortunately, because of COVID, right? You're not allowed to leave the hotel, and they cart you from the hotel to the studio to hotel. And that's it.
A month of just studio hotel. So are you in your own room?
I am. Thank
you. Okay, well that's good.
They're not going to put strangers together.
Yeah, because you need some private time. I mean, I imagine it's so stressful that as long as you can decompress in the evening, probably okay. But really the funny part of that show would be as if they had a camera on y'all in your room or where you were hanging out afterwards. Like if that's the dish.
Yeah, the behind the scenes. So you are mic'd the entire time. And even when you're in the waiting room, waiting for them to take you on set and stuff, I'm like, ooh, they can hear and then, we were talking to like some of the crew. We're like, can you guys hear us in the bathroom? Does the mic reach that far?
Does it?
It does. And they're like, but we don't listen to that stuff. I was like, wow, okay.
That's hilarious. Now everyone be very afraid. And Cookie and Food Network, if you're watching, I want that job. I want the job to get the dish behind the scenes. Do you have anyone doing that yet? Because I'm totally up for it. Oh, so tell us about this, because I know people were asking me when Brooke was on Halloween Wars. Mm-hmm. And so they were asking me afterwards, and I just referred them to her. But how does that work when you're on a show like that?
So they were paying for about one meal a day.
Okay.
So then you were on your own. When we were in quarantine, I think they gave us 2 meals. They actually brought them to us, right? Because I gotcha. You get it.
Okay.
But when you're on set, they do have food on set. That you can go and eat. They have craft services. So that's nice. They don't let you take breaks. I mean, you can take a break and you can go eat if you want to, but the clock still runs.
I got you. Time's money on these shows, right? They got to keep it moving.
You end up not eating all day. So you eat breakfast and then you don't eat until dinner, and dinner's late by the time, you're done filming.
So does anybody like sneak really good snacks in their aprons? Like, is that going on at all? Or are they afraid?
So like the first episode that we filmed, they put snacks and water that give you bottles of water at your station, so you
Okay.
can snack. But you're so busy. I barely even drank, so it's like.
I believe it. But you're probably prepared for this, right? Because if you actually have a bakery or even a boutique bakery, sometimes you go in and you work 8 or 10 hours and you're like, oh, wait, I haven't had anything to drink. I haven't gone to the restroom. I haven't answered the phone. I haven't checked messages. You're just like in the groove, right? Sometimes things are just in that oven and the buzzers going on and off and stuff going in and out. You don't have 2 minutes to spare for something else.
Right.
So you were okay, but I bet people that don't do that normally, I bet that's a little, I bet it puts them off a little bit, throws their game off a little, I would imagine.
Probably. And, you're just so into it, like in the zone, you just I didn't even think about it. I wasn't hungry until I stopped. Like, that's when
funny.
You think about it. And
then you're like, oh, I didn't eat all day. Okay, so a few questions just so they don't get ahead of me. Laura, you said such a great experience. Have you been on one of the Food Network shows? Because Laura's another person that we both met at CookieCon, but I don't know if she's saying great experience for you or if she's done it. And if she's done it, I'd like to know, because she's hiding that from me, and I would like to have that information. And then Sheila said she, not to give them ideas about the bathroom or dishing, Sheila. And Sheila's also saying she couldn't find it on Hulu. Where was it last night?
It's on Food Network, on their station.
Okay.
And it's also streams on Discovery Plus.
Okay, that's where I thought it was. Isn't that where Halloween Wars was too?
So all the Food Network shows also stream on Discovery
Okay.
Plus.
And then at some point, somebody got us a copy of Brooke's episode.
Oh, really?
From YouTube, but I don't know who found it. I just know they tagged us, and so
I don't know how things get up on FoodTube.
I don't know. YouTube.
FoodTube.
I don't know, because I'm afraid to watch all the stuff on YouTube that's not actually from the official site because of viruses and stuff.
I never even thought about it. I'm not a big. My husband's a YouTuber, not me. I'll have to get him to look for it.
Yeah, I'm afraid to scan all that stuff. So Trish is asking if he could have gone and stayed with you. You can't, right? Because you're supposed to be totally dedicated to. Someone had told me that.
Yeah.
And you have to be committed to stay the entire time in case you're winning, right? Because they send you home when you stop winning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I watched the first. And Charlotte was telling us that she's in Seattle. She's on the train in Seattle going home from work. So this was a good time for her. I always try to take my West Coast people into account. It's like I know a lot of them get off work between 3:30 and 5:30, so they're traveling or listening on the car phone, or, on the stereo or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do they even call it these days? We listen through so many devices, through our phones, through our speakers on the car. I'm sure you all have a name for that, but Laura, she's actually Charlotte's actually on a train. All right, now let's see. Laura's saying, oh, for her. Now, Laura, I bet I could see you applying for this, and I bet you'd be great on it. So we're going to have to talk about that shortly. And Trisha, recording. Do you record every day when you're there, Jen? No? Okay, so it's like
Halloween Wars recorded the same time we did.
Oh.
So I did not run into Brooke.
Brooke? You didn't?
I didn't.
Was she in the same state? I think I forgot to ask her where
she
was.
They were actually in the same hotel as us. Because I do know a few of my friends were on Halloween Wars, so I did run into them.
So fun.
So the days they were filming, we were not. And then we filmed the day after. And then nobody ever filmed on a Sunday.
I gotcha. Okay. So how did they split you up for filming?
Meaning...
is the episode really like you see it on TV, or did 3 of you go do your thing that day and then the next day the other 3 went in?
No, all of us are in the studio at the same time.
Okay, so you really are getting all that background action. That's so much fun.
Yeah, and then there's that cross talking is really happening.
And how about the smack talking that everybody talks about?
Do they encourage the smack talking?
Do they? That's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you go back to your hotel room and you're on the phone with your friends on the team and you're like, hey, now that we know so-and-so's personality, let's rip them with this, or let's say that, or
the producers kind of like egg you on. So I'm friends with one of the other teammates.
Okay.
Or one of the other teams.
Okay.
And they knew it. And actually one of the other teammates was a judge of mine.
Okay.
And so we've had
was
interactions.
It Vanessa? Was it Vanessa? Was it? I am in love with the way that she does the buttercream painting.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite things to watch when she does that. So I could see that. So did you egg each other on in a good, positive way? You're still friends?
Because the producer knew that she broke one of my pieces when she was judging it.
What?
So she was trying. So actually, this piece right here.
Oh my goodness.
She broke it because she wanted to see, because that's actually a cookie that's
Okay.
completely piped, even the lines, because it's like a needle point.
Okay.
I even piped all the lines, and she wanted to see if it was piped or if I used a lace mat.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to touch it, and because royal icing, right, we know when it's really fragile and dried, because it's weeks ago that I had done it, it completely shattered under her just of touching the grid.
Uh-oh. So did you get to talk about that on the show? Because I didn't get
That's
to
what we were answering about her breaking my piece.
So people might want to know that too, though, Jen, when you're preparing for a competition like either the Food Network or a cake show, how far in advance are you actually making your pieces?
It depends on how quickly I get my idea for the show. And then depending on time, I generally am months ahead because I want to leave time if something goes wrong.
So Jen and I are both teaching electives at CookieCon in Reno. Yay, girl. I can't wait.
I'm so excited. Another cocoa butter.
I know. So I'm so excited.
I'm on a show since we're going, and I have my idea. This is what I'm going to teach in Reno.
It's gorgeous. So Jen, you did tell me earlier that you're going to design the cookie to be the flower and the bird, right?
Yeah. None of the leaves.
So let me see if there's any questions. Let's see. Yes. And I heard that Brooke also, they had to do that as well because of the COVID. So yeah.
Yep.
So here's my question. I'm just going to ask you one question for me. Then we're going to talk about cocoa butter. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're planning a competition piece, because I really was like, the thing for me to go to CookieCon happened at the last minute. So I entered just to get some raffle tickets because Allison kept saying, enter something, get tickets. But the only one I really wanted to enter was my Texas Ranger cookie in the Texas category, that piece where I did a panorama. That was the only one I really wanted to do.
Right.
But it happened so late for me because my ticket was gifted to me that I was like, I wonder if people have, once I saw some of that stuff that was entered, I was like, have they been working on this for like 6 months? Because one of those cookies, did you see the one that was all little individual icing tiles? There was like 5,000 hand-placed icing tiles.
Because I was teaching, I didn't have a lot of time to go through the sugar show.
I was like, what? Like, you did not do that in even a week or two. That was like,
there are people who do months. There are.
Like, get the idea and start going, and then.
So they post the sugar show. Probably they'll post it by like December, January.
I was just gonna say, does everyone know that when they're teaching at CookieCon coming up in Reno, that's happening the first week of March, but we actually have to submit our pictures that they're going to use for everything by December 1st, and it's November 8th. And I was doing everything I could do to push through Cookie-a-thon with Nancy Westfall to just get my brain cleared. But I do have I have something this year that I don't normally have, which is that my husband and I are taking the whole week of he doesn't get the whole week, but I will have the whole week off because we're going to spend time with family for Thanksgiving and Christmas, which is something we haven't done in over 5 years.
Wow.
Right. Because of the business. So we just decided, look, man, we've made it through COVID so far and things are okay. And we've pivoted as much as we can pivot on how we've changed things, and we're okay. So we're going to have a little family time.
That's awesome.
I'm just warning all of you that I will be working on my competition piece, at least the one that's anything goes, because I'm told they have that all the time, right?
They do.
And then I'm going to finalize I believe what I'm going to be teaching is a mixed medium cookie at CookieCon in the elective. So they're 45-minute classes, right?
Yes.
So we did a really fun mixed medium cookie in the open demo area, and I actually taught it like a class. I didn't realize it was supposed to be a walk by and just ask questions. So I taught 2 classes. So and I had people standing behind the people that I was teaching. So it was really fun.
That's cool.
I didn't realize that was not what I was supposed to be doing. I was like, oh, 45 minutes. Let's do it. Let's sculpt this thing. So I'm going to work on that so that I know I'm ahead of schedule. I hate being stressed out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm going to be ready.
I'm a planner.
And are you ready for the National Capital Area Cake Show?
I am.
Okay. I saw what you're teaching, and I think that if anyone is going, you should sign up for her class. And I don't feel like the class was super expensive.
So that is, the class is actually, we'll just take it off the wall, is going to be this.
Isn't that gorgeous? What is that? Did that get featured in a magazine already?
It was in Cake Masters. So I actually made this for Cake Masters magazine. They asked me to enter a cookie.
Okay.
So I designed it for them, for the magazine.
And that's the one you're teaching at the cake show. Yeah. And you're Saturday afternoon, aren't you? Because I'm Saturday morning, I think.
Yes, I'm Saturday afternoon.
And I will be in class with you that day because that just looks stunning.
Thank you.
I cannot wait. Well, if there's still a spot, because I have to wait till next week to sign up.
Yeah, so there probably is.
There was a spot. There was a spot yesterday.
Yeah, I don't even know how many spots have sold or not, or like I will say, like, 2 years ago, although I wasn't out there as much as I am now, 2 years ago I was supposed to do this before COVID hit, and there were still spots open, and it took a long time for me to get as many people as I did signed up. But now that I am out there, and I don't know if the Food Network is going to help me. I'm hoping it helps.
Well, sure it will, sure, because they can see what you've taught. And they're seeing the awards and they're seeing your pieces. So, but I find that very interesting. So what are you planning on entering at CookieCon? Are you already working on your Anything Goes, or are you entering
nothing has come to my head yet.
Okay.
So unless something, actually in Dallas, I actually did that piece a week before we left. Because I was stressing out trying to get ready for the class. That was my main goal. I was like, and then I was trying to figure out how am I carrying on all the cookies for my class and a competition piece.
Because you have to carry it. So which airport did you fly out of?
Philly.
Okay. So when you go through the Philly airport, were they like, what's in that box? Like you had to open it?
And they're like, is that cookies? I'm like, yeah.
So with my Tex cookie, they were like, well, we have to see what's in the box. I was like, I had it all stacked in pizza boxes and tied so I could carry it. So it goes through the scanner, and I'm like, I could see the guy's face looking at the boxes right as it's going through the scanner, and he's looking, I know they're looking to see who put what through. And I'm like, it's just cookies, dude. You can open it if you want. You can just pull the ribbon apart. Just let me do it so you don't break anything.
I actually I use a box like this when I travel. Ooh,
I want to see. Show us.
Clear. We need it. I use this.
They let you take that on as a carry-on?
Yes.
And then do you put it above?
It fits perfectly under the seat of
listen, we're going to need the dimensions on that because
this is from Michael's.
Okay.
Michael carries this.
We're going to need the label or the dimension, please, Jen, because that would save people a lot of aggravation.
Yeah. It's the best way to travel.
Because I had someone message me. They're like, I'm going to put it in my carry-on suitcase. I was like, what? How is that even going to work? Because you're going to be tipping it up. And it was a 3D piece already assembled. So I was like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
You need to carry that on. So then, what I did see that I liked was I took Arlene Chewitt's class, the wedding couture class, and she has you were her assistant. So, so the clear gift boxes with the nice bottom, I was like, you know what? That would have saved me some aggravation too. So if I make a small detailed 3D piece for any of the stuff this time, it's going in one of those and that'll fit under the seat.
Yeah. So I use that, and that actually dictates the size of my piece because it fits perfectly. So Orlando, I did a peacock.
Okay.
And I had to make sure the peacock was not taller than that piece.
And did it survive?
It did.
Did anybody bump into you? Because Allison kept trying to kill Allison. I know you're on here. and you know this is true. She kept trying to kill my cookies. Like at one point, she almost spilled coffee all over them, right, in the boxes. And then another time she leaned her elbow on them. I was having a panic attack. And then I just decided, whatever, if they get their broken, they get their broken.
They do have a hospital. So, I mean, there's a cookie hospital.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't know that, but that would have been fine.
Yeah.
So
most
fun.
cake shows have a hospital to help you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though, just to see everybody's pieces. And I have been trying to get the videos off my phones. My friend, okay, so I double booked myself, not realizing I was supposed to be 2 places when we were there. So I went to one and moved the demo I was supposed to do a little later because it was going to mean I couldn't take your class. And I've been dying to learn about cocoa butter. And so Allison, listen, Allison is saying, can you see that? Put them on the other side. It's so funny. So Allison, believe me, I will, because I was having a panic attack. And then I was like, forget it, whatever. Let's go have the experience and have fun. So, but I really, Laura, she did tell me this too. She checked her cookies on the way home and they made it all in one piece, no problem.
Wow.
But I had those super long, longhorn horns on text. I mean, the cookie was like 10 inches wide. And so I was afraid anything would break that off. You know what I mean? And I had sculpted fondant modeling chocolate, so they were heavy. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah, my Kraken did not make it home.
It didn't.
Did you?
Can you keep the pieces? Do you bring them home with you?
I do. So actually, the peacock, I'm going to enter at National Capital because I can.
Okay.
Because it didn't win first place. So that just takes an ease. I don't have to come up with something else.
Wait, so if it had won first place at Orlando, you couldn't enter it somewhere else? Is that an unwritten rule or the rule for the show?
No, that's their rules. Okay. Their rules are you can enter any piece that's been created. It can't be older than a year.
Okay.
And it can't have won first place anywhere.
Okay. So you're going to enter just that one piece? No,
I'm going to make a sugar sculpture.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. I can't wait now. Don't tell us what that is because some of your competitors may be on here and I don't want to cause you any stress on here. There was something else you said that made me think of something I wanted to ask you though. So Reno, when you go to Reno, will you be flying out of Philly again? Or are you going to go out of BWI and go to Dallas and then Dallas to Reno?
So I've been looking at the flights from Philly. I'm not loving any of them. Okay. I do not want to do a layover in Dallas. And to go to BWI would be like 3 hours.
Okay.
So I'm not definitely. So my only options are Philly or go to Newark.
I gotcha.
New Jersey.
Well, can you get something out of Newark?
Oh yeah.
And you can go
but
direct?
they also stop over in Phoenix, but the flights are more expensive. So I think I'm just going to stick with Philly.
Gotcha.
They're long days because the
layover. There are no nonstops for me flying out of Dulles Reagan Airport. So my choice was to go north or to go south and then go to Reno. So I chose south because of the time of year. So we actually have to fly from Dulles to Dallas to Reno. But by the time my day starts and I arrive at the hotel, even though it seems like it's early in the day at Reno because you lose all that time, it's actually a 13-hour travel day.
So I think the length I was looking at was 8 or 9 hour travel day.
Well, that's pretty good. And I picked the shortest layover. I didn't even pay attention when I was in Dallas. I should have, but I didn't know where it was going to be. So I didn't really think to look. But I hope that the airline that I'm on, that they're like in a hub. So I'm literally just getting off one plane, running over to the other because there's only 40 minutes between the flights.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was looking at least an hour. I haven't booked my flight yet because
it was that or 3 hours. And I was like, no, we're going to try for this. And they can put me on the other one.
I need to book soon. I know I need to, but I was looking, it was Philly to Phoenix. I was thinking Phoenix might be less of a crazy airport than Dallas.
Probably. But if you go to Dallas, tell me what airline you're on. Maybe we'll be on the same flight because I think Allison is going to try to get on the same flight. And my friend out of Louisiana might if she can't get a direct.
I fly American if I can because then
I'm on American this time. I think I am this time, right? Yeah, I'm on American this time.
I have a lot of airline miles, and I'll just use them to upgrade myself to first.
Very nice.
You know, when I travel with my competition pieces, that's my other. I go first so that I have a little bit more of a security blanket around it.
Hey, so that brings up a good point, though. Does that bin only fit under the seats in first class?
All of them.
All of them? Okay. So you really have to post that. You might take some stress off some of the cookie people this time. That's so funny. So I did somebody sent me a gift before CookieCon, and I still don't know who it was, and they haven't confessed to it yet, probably because they know I'll try to pay them back. But they sent me hot pink suitcases with 360 wheels.
Oh, wow.
Because I have the old suitcases from when I lived in Louisiana that have fleur-de-lis and they tip and you have to pull them. And somebody was like, you know, we got to talking about it one night on a live, and they were like, no, you can't do that and take these pieces.
No,
and so
I'm
listening. If you guys don't have 360 wheel suitcases, get some. It's a game changer. I'm just saying, we're not getting any younger, and it's a lot of fun. And I liked the pink. The pink is beautiful. I love them. So I could find them easily, and everyone knew they were mine. By the way, who's the Facebook user that's in California? Because even if I came to you first, it wouldn't be a direct flight. I'd have to have a layover to get to you. So whoever that is, though, I want to see you in Reno. Okay, so Jenn, it's already 7:43, and I know I could talk to you all night because I really enjoy your company, but tell them tell them some tips. Like, we'll be posting. So guys, don't worry. The National Capital Area Cake Show, we're going to start putting posts up on both of our pages so you know when it is, what the admission is, when our classes are. So don't worry about that tonight. And CookieCon is going to take care of itself because it is its own animal, and it's just going to charge in there and take over your life, and you're going to love it. I promise you, you'll love it. So don't worry about that tonight. But if you could maybe share some tips about how to get this and people buying multiple tickets and
so it's definitely good to buddy up with a friend because you're allowed to buy up to 2 tickets each time you're entered into the queue. I'm not sure if you get into the queue more than once if you're allowed to buy multiple, because I've never done it, so I don't know that one. But
I don't think that's going to happen because you have to get out to get back in, and there's probably going to be that limited number of tickets, right?
You don't have to get out to get back in. So that's my other tip.
Oh, tell us.
You use multiple devices. Use your phone, use your iPad, use your computer, use your husband's computer.
And that's how people were getting lower numbers. And so then it just doesn't.
So what happens is a lot of people, you do multiple devices, and you'll see people complaining about it. Like, if everyone just used one device, the number wouldn't be so high. And people are like, I'm number 2,000 and something. How am I ever going to get a ticket?
Okay, I so love you all, but I also honor people that are organized and are on there the split second something releases. Like, my livelihood depends on it. So I get it, and you go, girl.
So the multiple devices, right? Most people will release themselves from the queue, and you'll see, like, it tells you, like, at first when everybody gets on, it's like, it says, you know, you've got 2 hours, and that goes down really fast. As people get their lower number on one of their devices, they're closing out on the other ones because they don't need it anymore, right? You've got your lowest number. You're not going to get anything lower. And so
are you literally sitting there waiting for 2,000 people, or do they is it like a callback thing?
No, you're literally sitting there waiting for 2,000
So what's the longest you've ever heard of somebody having to wait to check out their tickets before it was sold out?
It's not long. It sells out quick.
It does.
So this time, because of COVID, I think Orlando and Dallas is the first time. Orlando never sold out.
Okay. Never. But it showed on the website, they had a ton of people there.
They did. They had a good amount because, people started last minute. People were starting to feel better about COVID and were buying tickets.
And you see this, right? You see the comments I'm posting. They all did it, so they know the trick.
Yeah,
I didn't know the trick. My friend Heather gifted me a ticket, and because she wanted me to go, because I kept saying, well, she didn't know it, but I was like, I was praying, and I put down a fleece, like, if I get a ticket, then I'm doing this, I had to be ready, because I was like, I haven't been anywhere since we locked down the doors when COVID started, because I didn't want to get sick or be asymptomatic and get my community sick. right? And not know. So
Right.
I have been like primo careful this entire, is that the right word? Careful this entire time. And so then I was like, well, I can't continue living like this. I'm about to go nuts. I'm vaccinated. We've both been doing well. And I took days off ahead of time and tested before I left, went to it, came home, took the whole week off after. Now I was working, but I was working in my video studio, right? Where I film all my stuff. So I was working in there, but I wasn't willing to be the person that infected the whole town of Culpeper because I went to Dallas. Like that's all I needed, right?
Yeah. So I see that Trisha actually put a comment. There's usually 900 tickets. And
Dallas sold out. They got through all of the waitlisted people in 45 minutes.
So it's not waitlisted. So it's people in queue. And then once the tickets sell out, if you're still in the queue, you can add yourself to the wait list. If somebody has to sell their ticket back. And a lot of that happened because I think with COVID, people started really panicking. And before the deadline was up, they were selling back their tickets because the day before Dallas, you were able to actually buy a CookieCon ticket again.
Yeah. And I think that's
a lot of people had to have sold back.
I think that's how I got my Arlene Chua class, because the day after her class had been completely sold out. And the day after there was a ticket. And right after that, I went back to try to get one for a friend. And I must have got the ticket that got returned or canceled or whatever. So if I understand this, you're on there and you're waiting. The tickets get released at a certain time. Everybody gets assigned a number
randomly. It's random. So that is and that's, I think, what also pisses people off is, so you can get onto the website before the queue actually opens, and you're just randomly in a waiting room.
Okay.
So I got there about 15, 20 minutes before it opened. Because I had to go through the queues for buying class tickets, even though I didn't have to do it for the actual ticket. For class tickets, I still had to do that.
Okay.
So it's the same premise. It works the same way. You sit in the waiting room, and then everybody that's in the waiting room randomly gets assigned a number.
Okay.
And then they allow, I think it's 5 people at a time onto the site to buy your tickets. So when that person checks out, the next person in line gets into the site.
And you're talking about buying the CookieCon tickets, which is separate from buying your class tickets, right?
It is. It happens twice.
I think I saw 2 different dates, right? Like the tickets are going to go on sale one day, and they're going to get all the way through all the tickets being sold. Then they're going to post the information about classes, electives, and tracks.
So all that will be posted before. So all the classes and tracks and all that will be posted before CookieCon tickets actually go on sale.
Okay.
But you can't, the only thing you can do the day tickets go on sale is buy a ticket.
Gotcha.
And then once the tickets, the week later, they put the class tickets, and it's the same thing. You go into a queue and you get a number, and because people want the classes just as much, they sell out.
But you can't get in the queue for the classes unless you have a ticket.
Correct.
Right? There's no scalping going on here, guys.
There's no scalping.
So you're getting your ticket. You get your ticket, you're through that, and then how many days until you get back in
it's a week later usually.
Oh, okay.
1 week to 2 weeks later.
Then you got to be on there. Then you're in the waiting room. You get assigned a number. So which is why they call it the lottery, is because you just randomly get a number. So that's fun.
You do.
I mean, it's not fun, but I get why they have to do it. So
and for the why people say buddy up is because you can buy 2 tickets. Yes. So like if you and your friend each have 4 devices, you now have 8 chances of getting a really low number.
Yes. Which means you'll get at least 2 tickets, and then you just settle up with each other, right?
Right. Exactly.
Laura and Allison are rooming together this time. And so they're going to be both getting on there. And I don't know, can we get on and get tickets even though we have a ticket because we're teaching? Like if we want to bring somebody with us?
I don't know. I guess you could. I've never tried because I'm like, why deal with the stress?
Yeah, like not to buy 2 tickets, but to buy 1. This might be a good year for me to do it because I haven't done it yet, though. Right? To just get on and see.
I don't want to do it. Well, I do what I can.
I think if I can do it, I might want to do it before the CookieCon ticket to see how it works. So I'm prepared for when we sign up for classes. Right?
I've done it for classes. Like I've only done the queue thing. And I was really fortunate when I went to Louisville. When I got in the queue, I think I was like number 5 for buying classes. What? I was like, yes, I got every class I want.
How early were you in there?
It doesn't matter how early you are because it's random.
Okay. So everybody's in there. You can go in there an hour early and you still might be 2,000. Oh, so my Barbie's on here. She's saying, let me repeat, very stressful.
It is. It's not fun. I wouldn't do it just to do it. This is why I apply to teach, since I don't have to worry about it.
So you're out of the loop on it. That's so funny. I bet it is stressful though, but I think it might be fun to see if like you land the number 2 spot or something. Wouldn't that be like just a stroke?
Yeah. I mean, like you probably like you fall out of your chair if you're that. Like the person who's number 1 is just like, oh my God.
I think they should get a free ticket the next year. The number 1 person, like they shouldn't be allowed to bring that luck to the table twice, should they? They should like just take them out of the equation. That's so funny. So what was the other thing about that I wanted to ask you that someone asked me? So they were able to change their tracks and their electives super easy online after the fact. So the lottery part is the waiting room, which you just described.
Yes.
And you can only buy up to 2 tickets, but you think you might be able to get tickets. Like you could buy tickets and your husband could buy tickets and then you could call in and change them over, right?
You could. Yep. For sure.
I mean, traveling with a big group, like I know in Texas, there's like 5 ladies that travel together. So I would imagine whoever gets the low numbers works all their stuff out.
Yeah.
Right. And make sure you test that credit card ahead of time because it's going to be going through, right? You don't want to get declined.
You don't.
On what you're using to purchase. So you need to call them, you guys. This is my tip, given that I've had to deal with some credit card nonsense yesterday. You need to call them and tell them that their purchase is going to be coming through from wherever those authorize. Where do they authorize? Do they authorize from their home state or? I mean, it's probably the same every year.
I never looked. It probably is their home state.
Yeah. So I would imagine that, right? Because like yesterday, somebody was trying to Uber on my debit card in San Francisco. I've never been to the West Coast. So I'm calling the bank and they're like, well, are you sure someone doesn't have your card? I'm like, I'm looking at it. I just gave you the number. Like it's in my lap. It never left my wallet. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm right here on my couch in Virginia. Like, can't you tell that? I mean, I know that I feel like they watch us 24/7. Like, I'm not in San Francisco. So they were just like, well, this is a problem because now I need new cards before any more traveling.
My card got stolen in Dallas.
It did not. Were you like checking out on food or how'd they get it?
So I used my card number twice. The number was stolen.
Okay.
I only used it twice. Once at the hotel to check in.
Okay.
And once at that coffee shop. And I only used it at the coffee shop because they told me they didn't have any change for cash.
Okay, wait. Now, the coffee shop, you mean that Instant Market? Because that's the only place that I used my debit card while I was in Dallas. So now we've solved another issue. That could be it.
Yeah, it could definitely.
Let me guess at the coffee shop. Did someone else have trouble there?
Yeah, I think most people who had there were a lot of people who had their credit card stolen, and the common link is the coffee shop.
Oh, well, then I should call my bank back and tell them, go figure this out, because this is where it came from.
My guess is there was a skimmer on the card machine because I had brought cash with me. I wanted to use cash for everything. I didn't want to use my card.
That's a great tip. That really is a great tip.
And she wouldn't, it was like 10 o'clock. She's like, we don't have any cash right now. Can you have to use your card. And I was like, and I didn't think about it. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. But then when my card got stolen, I'm like, that was it.
Yeah.
There's in cahoots at the coffee shop, right? They had a skimmer on it. She wouldn't let me use cash.
So let me tell you what happened to me. This, funny stuff happens to me, Jen. It doesn't really matter where I go or why I'm going somewhere. Just weird stuff happens. So I used my debit card at the airport to do the extended parking at Dulles Airport. You have to use a card now. You can't use cash because they scan it. They don't give you those little slips anymore to be in the garage by the terminal. My card got stuck in the machine, and Allison and I are in the car. We've got like an hour and a half till the flight, but we know we've got to go through check-in, check bags, go through the security stuff, right? And I can hear it grinding. It's going, you know, so it was stuck, and it cracked it in half, 3/4 of the way across in half. Well, the chip would still work, but you can't put the card in any machines like that. So they call the guy. It takes him like 10 minutes. He comes, he gets it out. He's like, just go on. When you go to leave, tell them not to put this in the machine. They can hand scan it. So we go to leave, and I tell them not to put it in the machine.
And they do.
And she puts it in the machine anyway. And then she goes, it's stuck. And I was like, please, did you put it in the machine? Seriously, because then that was the other thing. I didn't bring any other cards with me. I just had to get a little bit of cash when I got there, and I had a new card, but that I wasn't planning on using, right? And so, so bad. So now, first of all, I am definitely going to travel with cash, and I'm going to have some smaller bills so I don't have to worry about them not having change because I can leave the extra as a tip, right?
Right.
And then I'm also going to travel with a credit card that has nothing else on it, right? So, and call them ahead of time to say where I'm going to be so that if I want to go shopping, I can. That I found handy. And then also, I think it'll be much easier to keep track of everything if I do that. But I like to pay for everything when I'm getting it. But so it'll be difficult in that regard. But I still think it's safer after hearing everybody's stories about this last event.
Yeah. Yeah. And the nice thing is the credit card I have is an American Airlines credit card. It's the one that gives me my miles. So I used it to buy my airline tickets, and they notified me like the week before I was supposed to go. They're like, you know, we saw that you bought an airline ticket. So we've indicated that if you use your credit card in Dallas, you'll be good. I was like, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Creepy, but cool.
But then in Dallas, everybody's processing from their home state. So I did get 2 fraud alerts. Like, did you just make this purchase? And I was like, that's me. It's okay. I really am here, but it's a bunch of vendors at a show. Right. And so they're all processing on their own. You know, there's no way around that. But I just was thinking, I don't want to lose my wallet. I don't want someone to rip, you know, I didn't go with enough. So, and I did know better. I just was thinking this is not a big deal. And somebody else is saying Chase doesn't do travel notifications, so don't use a Chase card for what we're talking about. Oh, so yeah, so Allison is reminding us, you saw that post about the elevator, right? How the 4 of us got stuck in the elevator for like 20 minutes. Oh, no joke. I'm telling you, if it can happen, they should just follow me around with the TV camera because it's going to happen. So the stress of trying to get in the airport garage and then the card, I'm like, well, what am I going to do? This is the only debit card I have with me, right? And it's broken. I can't use it now. That's okay, good. So then we get on the plane, and usually, you guys, my hair is up always in a bun, so I have those little clips, and my hair is really long. So this is the first time since they started doing all of the extra security after 9/11 that I've gone through the airport that they did not pat me down and check my bun or make me take my hair down in the airport, which is always a big spectacle. They get a real kick out of it.
Oh my God.
I had a lady this time, and she's like, how many bobby pins? And I was like, I have 2. So she found them and saw what they were. She was like, that's fine. And they didn't pat me down this time. I was like, I must look less threatening this year. I don't know. That's normally a good story when you get home, right? But then when we got there, everything was pretty smooth until we got to the hotel. We went up to the room. We were like, let's go back downstairs and meet everybody. We saw people down there already. The 4 of us jump in this elevator. And the elevator, Jen, I'm not kidding you. I don't know if this has ever happened to you or not.
No, I've never got stuck in an elevator.
We're on the 5th floor. We get in the elevator. We shut the door. Everything seems normal. The elevator does this. It's like it goes down a few inches, like it's starting, and then it jerks back up, and then it drops.
Oh, geez.
So we were like stuck between 5 and 4. But that whole motion was like being on a roller coaster of like the down, the up, down. I wasn't nervous until the security guy showed up to talk us through to keep us calm. Then I was like, is this thing going to drop? right? Because why is this dude babysitting us, right? So then I was like, everyone else is all calm. And I'm like, I'm trying to be calm, but I was not calm. I was not calm at all. And I'm looking like I don't see an escape hatch to get to an elevator to climb out of this thing. Like, we're 5 floors up. Can we survive if it drops? And Allison's like, they have brakes. And I was like, yeah, they have brakes, but what if the brakes don't work? Because clearly the elevator isn't working. And then they're trying to be funny, right? And they're like, oh, if you jump before you hit the bottom, then we won't die. And I'm like, that's a load of hooey. That is not going to work.
It's from a movie somewhere. I know I've seen
you
that.
You guys watch too much TV. And then I don't know the rest of them. So then they were being funny. And so they like, one of them jumped up in the elevator. I was like, I'm going to take you down right now. What are you doing? So when we got off the elevator, I never took that elevator again. I would have walked the stairs, except there wasn't a complete connection up to the 5th floor. Like you had to break. It was
right.
But I'm saying it was fun. I mean, I always warn people that travel with me because this stuff's going to happen. But none of the pieces got broken, right? Oh, everything was fine. Everybody got their pieces there to enter. We did our raffles. We had a great time. I thought overall, seriously, I expect things like that to be a little more expensive food-wise and whatever. But our food was good. We actually got waited on in that one restaurant, like really quick for how big that hotel was. I was shocked at how quick we were able to get food. And there only one restaurant open in that huge place.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so one night we had really bad service in there. I think it was the last time we ate in there, but.
Well, like slow service or bad food?
Slow.
Okay.
Really slow. Like it took 2 hours and it should not have taken 2 hours.
Yeah. We might have been talking a lot. So, and they might have wanted us. Yeah. I think the key might be to be loud and laughing and maybe a little disruptive, and then they want to get you out. So your stuff comes fast. So luckily I had some vivacious people at the table, and so I could just go, yeah, go for it. But it was so much fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so Laura, that's how I forgot to tell you this too. That's how Laura found us, because we hadn't met her in person yet. So we posted the picture because I was not going to call my husband and admit we were having this huge difficulty right off the bat, right? Because here I am, I'm traveling during the pandemic and you know, you can imagine. So I was like, I'm not calling him unless it's like do or die moment and I need to leave that last I love you message. It was a great marriage. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like if they tell us your time's over, lady, I'll make that phone call. Otherwise, not making the phone call until I can say I'm safely on the 1st floor. You think I'm kidding, but my brain was like spinning out. So that was the first thing. And then we got downstairs. Why was I telling you that? Because something happened.
Laura. She said Laura.
So we posted because I was like, this is my evidence that we were really in this elevator. If something happens to us, they're not going to be able to hide that we died in the elevator. So here's where we are. And then it was just so funny. It was, and it was hot. Let me tell you, these people that are like stuck in elevators and acting like it's all calm, cool, and collected in there, they are lying. They are lying, and they need to repent because your blood pressure is up. The heat is up because the door is not opening or closing.
Right.
When the telephone wouldn't work, like I was like, what? This is real stuff, people. This happened. It was something, but lots of fun. And okay. Can you please tell us about cocoa butter?
Yes, I know.
Because I'm so excited. I think the group's going to be happy. And you guys, just so you know, Jenn designed a piece specifically for our group.
So we're doing
holiday. Look at that.
We're going to do a poinsettia.
Hey, Jenn, do you want to meet my husband?
Sure.
Here, come say hi. Brian just popped in.
Drama.
He likes all the stories, but he knows it's true. I did not message him to tell him. So actually I'm posting it on Facebook and his boss is like, hey man, your wife's stuck in an elevator because he doesn't have Facebook. So that's how he found out that I was in the elevator. So later he's like, Allison saying hi. So later he's like, hey, how was that elevator ride today? And I was like, what?
So you can't post on Facebook.
No, now
on Facebook.
I just wanted you to be able to be well taken care of if something happened to me. That's all I was thinking about, babe.
Drama.
Evidence. Here's your photo proof. Bye. Okay, show them the cookie.
Yep. So that way.
Come that way. That's so beautiful, Jen. So
Thank
beautiful.
So yeah, so there is a cutter for this and a stencil, just like my class.
Did you put it in your shop?
It is in my shop. So my shop is on my website. I have all the cookie cutters that I've ever designed, stencils that I've designed. There's not a lot because I'm just starting to do them. But
is this something you're going to do all the time, or do you just do it for pieces you're teaching at shows?
So basically, when if somebody asks me to make a set of cookies and I don't have a cutter, I make the cutter and then I'll throw it up in my shop.
I gotcha. They love this.
I would do custom as well. So I'll do custom cutters, and all that kind of stuff.
Look how big that is too.
Yeah, it's about a 4-inch, 3.5. 4.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and that's all cocoa butter.
Well, these are pearls, but.
So what made you start painting with cocoa butter? Were you using that a lot with cakes, or just something new you tried?
No, just experimenting different mediums, and I had taken actually a cocoa butter class in SoFlo, and I was like, it had interested me. I wanted to see how the medium worked, and then I just started playing with it on my own, which I hope everyone does as well after taking my classes and stuff like that. But what really got me was, which I had said in Dallas, and you can actually see it on this one if I go really bad.
Come over there. Yeah, there you go.
Wow. The white, you can actually see the white, right? Like it doesn't seep in. And that's what I like about cocoa butter. Like when I was painting with gels, because I've tried painting with gel colors. Okay. You lose that white. It just seeps into the colors. Yes. It picks up everything underneath it.
And even if it looks good when you do it, it disappears a day or two later. It doesn't even look like a good highlight anymore.
So I painted the poinsettia is probably 2 weeks old or a week. Whenever you and I discussed me doing
that's at least right after Dallas. Old. Yeah. It looks beautiful.
It's 2 or 3 weeks old, then that white is still there.
So one of the things people kept asking you in class about the cookie was about odor or taste. Now, I noticed a very pleasing smell. It didn't bother me at all. Right. And I didn't eat the cookie.
In Dallas, there was someone that said she was getting nauseous from the smell of, because it's melted cocoa. So it is pungent, but it's not horrible.
But didn't it kind of just smell like brownies to you?
I smelled chocolate. Like right now, I don't smell it anymore.
Anything. Yeah. Do you taste anything when you eat it?
It gives you a little bit of a taste, but not much. Like right before Dallas, I actually ate one because I knew I was going to get that question.
Yes.
Because when I do my cookies, this is just for play and hobby, right? It's not something I know I'm not going to be able to sell this.
Okay.
People are not going to pay for this.
Right.
People, some people squawk at my $3.50 a cookie.
Right.
I know. Cookie is it's way more.
Listen, I'm convinced we have problems on the East Coast that maybe other people don't have except on the West Coast. And it's things like that when they really know they're going to have to pay more, but they really just want to say something ahead of time. So,
yeah.
And
it's also where I am is not a high income area.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna pay for it. So that this is why I do this, like teach the classes. It's my way of doing the things I want to do.
And it's your outlet.
Yeah.
So they're asking if it's a naked cookie or an iced cookie.
It's a royal iced cookie, but I have painted on a naked cookie and it's fine. Okay. It works.
How about glaze? Does it work on glaze? Because glaze sets up, right?
My royal icing is actually a combination because I put corn syrup in my royal icing.
Okay.
So it'll work on glaze.
So you actually use what they traditionally called royal glaze, right?
Yes. Yeah,
and some of the newer kids call it Franken frosting, right?
They are calling that, yeah.
But what I think here's what the difference is. I've kind of broken this down over the last 6 months. There's royal, there's glaze, and there's royal glaze. Royal glaze is actually its own recipe, and the whole batch is royal glaze. When people are talking about Franken frosting, they've made glaze, they've made royal, and they're pulling a little bit together. So that doesn't count,
right?
Because the egg whites, I mean, it doesn't count to be the same thing as what I would say royal glaze is, because doing it that way, it changes the structure of your egg whites, right? The structure the egg whites provide changes it.
Well, I'm not even using egg whites. So my I guess I would call it royal glaze. I'm using meringue powder, water, powdered sugar, and corn syrup.
Okay. And how long do yours set up relative to royal? Because I'm sure you've done royal too.
God, I haven't done a regular royal in a long time. I've been using royal glaze for probably 3 years now.
Yeah, and you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like so I'm using Charlene's recipe.
Okay.
I don't know if you know her.
What's her company?
Sure. Cookies Art by Charlene.
Okay. Okay.
I like it because it also actually, I should say, it gets white Americolor in the base.
Okay.
I find I have less bleeding, and that's why I started
adding that.
it.
Absolutely.
Well, just even with the corn syrup, and the corn syrup also helps with the elasticity.
Let's see. So Trish is saying you have to hold it right up to your nose to smell anything at all. And I tasted a little chunk from what I bought on my cruise. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. So it's actually the cocoa butter extracted. It's not chocolate. It's white.
Right.
It's an oil, right?
I'm sliding over. So this is what I use.
Oh, nice.
Cocoa butter wafers.
Okay. Is that the ones you normally use that they were out of?
So what like I said in my class, this is what I had just found on Amazon.
Okay.
And I was going by price point.
Sure.
And then right now I can't get this brand, so I bought an organic one, and they're just the same. So they're just little. I mean, they look like.
Come over. Yeah, there we go.
I'm so horrible at this.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
They look like chocolate wafers, and that's what made me actually buy them, because I figured they would melt the same way as chocolate wafers.
Well, I loved your setup too, to keep everything where it was liquid.
Yes.
And do you have someone asked me this the other day too, because they couldn't remember what we did in class. And honestly, I was just so excited about blending, being able to blend, and it wasn't drying, that I was just focused on what I was doing and having a brain break, because by this time I didn't get to take your class till Saturday.
Right.
So my brain was on massive overload, and I was just trying to reel it all in and come down to one cookie. Like, it was that spun out by Saturday. You guys, this was like, if you've never been to CookieCon, let me just tell you that it's like Disneyland on steroids for cookiers, running for 5 days straight, 24/7. Yeah. Show them the bag again.
Yeah. I am seeing some of the comments.
Yeah, and we were your last class. Allison and I were in your last class at that point, and I was just like, "Oh, this is so much fun." But they asked me what dust we use, and I don't remember. Do you have to use a specific dust?
No.
Okay.
And that's what I said in the class. Like, any powders will work.
Okay.
I happen to have one set of powders that I like, and I stick with them for everything.
But you could use sugar, or you could use the rain. Is it rainbow dust?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming so. Like, most powders, in that sense, they're all equal, right? Like, the way that they would blend into, whatever you would use to dust a cookie.
Okay. And then the other thing they asked me as soon as I got home, that cocoa butter, they wanted to know if once it dried, if the dust kind of freed up and would make a mess on the bags. But it doesn't really, right? It's kind of sealed.
So I had bagged up, because someone had asked me, do they melt? And once again, because I don't sell this, I had to bag up one, and it just, it sat in the bag and it was fine.
And it didn't get sticky on the bag or anything, because it was heat sealed.
Right. Okay. So the other thing is, like, heat is going to, so like, if you sit it by a heater, it's going to melt. Like, so I have this there's a light, and so I could feel a little bit. It's like, it's waxy.
Because your big light is over you. Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Feel like it's melting a little bit.
But that's not just cocoa butter. That's if you put modeling chocolate. That's if you get fondant too close to a light. It's anything. It's if you put chocolate candies on there. It's all the same stuff you have to be concerned about.
Right. So if you put that sealed cookie in a bag by heat, it's going to melt, and it's going to transfer off onto the bag.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, like, I noticed, all day, 6 hours, me playing with it and rubbing the plastic on my hand. It's warm. It's melting the chocolate. So yes, after 6 hours of me playing with it, the chocolate was starting to wear off.
So that cocoa butter that you're painting with, is that what people that have chocolate allergies are allergic to, or is it something else?
I'm going to say it is.
Okay.
I don't know enough about allergies.
Okay. But I think a lot of people, I think that's like, because chocolate would have coloring and stuff added, right?
Well, so chocolate is also, right, it's also from the cacao bean. It's the same thing, but I don't know the processing plants, and
I think that if they're allergic to chocolate, it's any of the pieces, right? Because it's from the same thing. And people I should have pulled a picture up. I didn't think about it, you guys. I'll try to post one later. But people are always shocked with what the cocoa beans actually look like. That what they really look like. And we have a place here not far out of town in Culpeper that makes chocolate, and they bring the beans in and all of that. And it's kind of interesting. They're not open all the time. You know, we're a small rural area, but it's a really cool thing. And we did get to stop by there one time and see all of that. And it's funny that we're like out in the sticks. Well, I mean, I guess technically, let's just say this. When I moved away from home, Culpeper was still considered a rural community.
Okay.
When I came back, because we're an hour away from Fairfax.
Okay.
Right? Which is the main Fairfax, Loudoun County. That's all Northern Virginia. I grew up in Fairfax. Right? But when we moved back home, we are here, and now we're looped in with Northern Virginia. And it's like spreading. It's this whole cluster. And I'm like, this is not quiet enough for me. And I hope they don't wreck the mountains. Like at some point, let's, it's true. And Trisha's saying she's seen the beans being processed, that it's really cool.
That would be cool to go see.
It's neat. It's really unusual. And there are some actual really good videos on YouTube if you guys want to check those out. But if you don't know what it looks like, then that's really fun too, to check that out. And tell me, we are going to be on with you next Monday night. Okay. And we're not going to do all of this banter. Monday night is straight out Jen's time to tutorial. And I'm just going to monitor and put the questions up. I'm going to say hello, tell you what's going on, turn it over to her. So are we expecting about a half hour, an hour?
So it's probably going to be like the Dallas and 40,
keep it
40
under
minutes,
now.
40 minutes. Yeah. Because I'm going to run through the same spiel I did in Dallas.
Okay.
So how to melt and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. But next Monday night, we start at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and there will be a recording. Okay. So just know that we're not going to start as late. So my West Coast people, you got to catch us, save your lunchtime and watch at 1. Okay. So, and we're going to do that, and then we'll end it. And then Jenn can come back and talk about stuff, but we'll keep it in a separate video because we all know that Amy is tech challenged, and I am not good at splicing and editing and all of the stuff with the videos yet. I'm just not there yet. I'm working on it for you all, because I want to do that for you to make things cleaner when they get posted for the final episode, so to speak. But we are not there yet, and I can't handle any more pressure, so don't be throwing that my way right now. Just saying. I do the best I can for you right now, and I'll have more time shortly to work on those things for you. But that's going to be Monday night. So there's a cutter and a stencil in your shop if they want to get that ahead of time. So maybe you can come back on the Cookie Snack Attack Facebook page and drop the link in.
Sure.
In case they want to get it. So they can go ahead and get that ordered, and then maybe drop them a link for the cocoa bean, just whatever you think on Amazon is a good price since you've already priced it. And do they need to have anything else like petal dust colors? Should they have like just green and red if they want to work with you?
The colors I'm using.
Because guys, you could just ice a round cookie, a plaque cookie. You could ice anything and get your cocoa butter in and have your dust so that you can learn the blending, that part, and then go back and make this actual cookie later.
So this way.
Okay.
So we're going to start with a yellow, and then we actually go to a pink.
Oh, nice. Okay.
and then I go to a red.
Okay.
That's
And then
for,
how many greens?
so for the greens, I'm actually only using 2.
Okay.
So I'm using like
Okay. So guys, just you're seeing the colors, and you should have 2 greens of varying colors because we just did that last week. They can't use gel color though, right? They have to use powder.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I know you guys have dust ordered in because we've been doing a lot more dry dusting lately. So have a yellow, a pink, and a red, and 2 shades of green. And then someone is asking if you have STL
I do.
files. Okay.
I do. And I actually, just because Nancy reprimanded me,
Nancy, if you're watching, we love you.
I just added SVG files for my stencils. So somebody who has a cutter can do the SVG.
Okay, because I just took Nancy's class at CookieCon because it's been a long time since I've used my Cricut machine. So I just took her class, and I have been designing stencils just so I won't lose what I learned about how to do it. So I'm starting down that.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a stencil in your thing?
And I had the stencil, like, so people could only purchase the physical stencil.
Oh, but if you put a file in,
I've added an SVG.
Do you kind of like that better though? Like just having those files up because it's like a product, they just download it.
So they're not, because I use Square, they can't just download it, but they can purchase it. I'll get the notification and then I'll email it to them.
Me too. That's why I have to send everybody separate Facebook links. It's a totally separate email outside the system. And that's why, because that's who I use.
Yeah.
But
I really like Square as my website. There's a lot of things about it I love. They made it really easy. I used to have my website on GoDaddy.
Yes.
And I was paying 2 things when I wanted to upgrade my Square to actually get some of the features.
Yes.
I was like, I don't want to pay 2 website fees. I actually have my entire website now over at Square.
Oh, well, that's good. That's really good because it's very handy. And
it is.
And the other thing I like is that it's just sending email, because I really worry about charging everybody all these prices for shipping. Like I'm not making any money off that, but that's really what it's costing, and it's insane. And so this is how I know I'm getting older, because I always say, like, I remember just when a stamp was 20 cents. You remember when stamps were 20 cents? You can't even mail a stupid postcard for 20 cents anymore.
Yeah.
And the medium price boxes, since I ran a mail order company from somebody else, we used to use that box all the time. And that was a small, what they call the small box now, because I ordered them in, it's a video box.
Yeah.
And back in the day, that was the video box. The medium box now was the small box. Like, I'm like, I can't fit anything in this. So and for that amount of money.
I now signed up for what's called Pirate Ship.
Yes. I just did that today.
So they do discounted.
Yes.
And it is definitely cheaper not to use one of the you can still go priority mail, but don't use any of those pre-made.
Do you have that link to your website though, so they can choose which shipping? Because that's what I'm working towards.
So no, because I didn't upgrade all the way. Okay. I'm only in like that middle tier. So I had to actually put in shipping options for things. So like, I think I said, like, if somebody orders 1 to 4 items, because I know what kind of size box, it would cost this. Okay. And if they order more than 4 items, it would cost this amount.
But it's doable. Like for my cookie kits and stuff, I could do something like that, right? If I knew what size box and what the weight was, and I know I could get an East Coast, a Midwest, Midwest, and a West Coast, or not.
So unfortunately for me, I calculated everything out to shipping from here to 90210 because that's California. Sure. I can remember that one.
I do. We are so dating ourselves, Jen. This is very bad.
Whenever I'm pricing shipping, I put that zip code in to see, because that is actually the farthest zone.
Yeah.
So if somebody is close by, I am making a little bit of money on that shipping because it's a flat rate shipping.
Yeah, but not really.
No matter where you're
buying the boxes, so you're still probably just breaking even.
Right.
So, but it's still cheaper. Like I checked. Oh, sorry, baby. I checked all that stuff today, and I was watching videos, and I was like, okay, so this is what I'm heading to at the beginning of the year, because although my boxes that I'm shipping for the cookie kits are packed, like they wouldn't be saving any money right now because they're too heavy with what I'm putting in there. But I could see now that my people are gaining more repeat boxes, like they don't need me to ship them fondant all the time now. Right. So as the weight comes down and I can condense things for them, then it's going to be important.
Well, the other thing is like this time of year, shipping prices have gone up. So I haven't adjusted the shipping prices on my website. It's,
not yet.
I'm not going to, just because like, it's the whole.
Yeah. I'm going to wait and see if they actually drop it. Like I'm still this box I'm getting ready to release this week. I'm just charging them the medium box $15.50 flat rate, even though it's gone up to $17. Right. I'm just going to leave it because it's not worth all the reprogramming for 2 boxes. I only have 2 more to sell this year. And then we move into and then because I really don't believe they're going to bring the price back down.
They do. Well, they did it last year. They raised them last year.
I don't know if I don't know if they will this year. And the only reason I'm saying that, this is just my prediction, is because this year, the company that I buy my cupcake boxes from, I used to get great deals with them. This year, the cost of all of our boxes has doubled now. My last order of boxes, the cost of the box itself has doubled and shipping tripled.
Wow.
Tripled. And it's not going to go back down with any of them. So I think as normal, USPS just reacts a little slower. So I'm not sure they're going to be able to take it back down. So just watch it in January and we'll see.
All right.
Well, I hope they do, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm happy Pirate Ship now has a deal with UPS. So you can do UPS shipping as well. Like you can look at pricing for UPS shipping as well as U.S. Postal Service.
Is this Marcy Lynn? Are you on here with me? I can't see it's you, but you're calling me on Amy, so I think it's you. If you're on here, I'm gonna tell your Uncle Brian so he'll come say hi. So that might be interesting too, because they'll do pickups too. You can schedule with them too. That's what the other thing that's good for me is I keep all that separate from the store, because if you don't have to pay the fee, so I don't have to pass that on if you just let them come whenever, like during your normal pickup time. She's saying yes. Hey, Marcy Lynn, I love you, girl. She's so cute. So, so I'm going to keep my eye on that because I watched all that today. I signed up, I set up the account. Like I was supposed to be doing something else, but I did that because somebody sent me and said, you need to check this out. And then I was thinking, well, by next year in April, I should be able to cut all that back. So, I think us as business owners, I think we're always looking at ways to keep it as tight as possible.
Yeah.
But we can't do everything for free either. And, that's what we always want to do. We always want to give them something extra, not make as much money so that you have a little more splash. We love that. But I got to say, I was shocked when that last order came in because we had minor increases the last 5 years, but that was like,
that is a lot.
Are there boxes missing? Like, where's the rest of my stuff for this? The ticket that should have been 150 was over 500. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. And, there's certain, and you can only charge so much for the kind of stuff that we sell because the perceived value is like I make monster cupcakes, Jen. That's our bread and butter is the monster cupcakes. So they're 2.5 times the size of normal cupcakes.
Right.
And we just do that because we started doing that back in Louisiana, and everything's bigger in Louisiana. The pralines are big. The fudge blocks are big. Like people don't buy small quantities. So we've always done the oversize. So I was like, I could keep my current price and drop my cupcake to a normal size. And then I could handle all of, but it's just.
But then people will be like, yeah, am I just getting older and bigger or things getting smaller? Because I say that all the time.
Because have you noticed that that's actually what's happening in all the big box stores? The price is staying the same, but the size of some of this stuff is half the size.
Have you ever noticed?
Do you think I don't notice just because I have reading glasses on? Because I can tell that I'm getting half the amount of Tide I used to get. You know,
a half a gallon of ice cream is not really a half a gallon anymore.
No, all of it. And I'm like, this is crazy. But for some reason, I still get a great deal on eggs. So I just pull a victory where I can pull a victory. I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're.
Yeah.
And some things people want to pay for and some things they don't want to pay for, right?
No,
And lucky
no.
for me, I have a great group. All of you guys in Cookie Snack Attack are fabulous and they like to learn. So because they like to learn, it's really allowed me to pivot and not worry about some of this other so much because I can actually teach. Like I've done this a really long time. So it was part of my last stage of my business career to start easing into a little bit of a retirement phase. And this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to travel and teach.
Okay.
Like I've been building the skill levels for 25 years, right? So I was like, well, we're almost there. And COVID made it happen early and it's been horrible, but you got to find the silver lining, people. Otherwise you'll go nuts. Yep. So tell me anything else you want to tell them. This has been so much fun, by the way. You see, I don't get to hang out with anybody anymore or chat, and this is the only safe way to do it. So you got all my energy tonight.
That's okay.
You got the whole load.
I don't. Did we touch all the topics? We wanted CookieCon.
Yeah,
the national
that
capital.
was great info, by the way. Thank you for sharing that because I think that's useful. They said 80% of the people in Dallas were new people.
I know. Orlando was that way too.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, I cannot reasonably comment. I don't feel qualified to comment if that's because we were just the only ones willing to travel during the pandemic.
I think it was.
Or, and it's that, and what's that going to do to everything when we're through the pandemic in another year or so, right? Because I really hope there's going to be multiple events and a different one on each coast, because if not, how is everyone going to get to this one show?
So, I mean, it's weird. So like before Louisville, and Louisville was my first.
Right.
And I'd seen the show and I'd never been able to really coordinate or even try and get tickets. So, but they were doing it every 18 months.
What?
And then Reno happened, and then they did Louisville 1 year after after Reno had happened. In Louisville was the first time they announced trying to do two in a year, 6 months apart. But then COVID happened.
Yes.
And things, and then they ended up with 2-1 back to back.
Yes.
And then they decided to do Reno again now. Like,
yes.
What, 5-6 months later?
Yeah, because there's only so many. First of all, we're planning that unplugged retreat that we're planning for the Cookie Snack Attackers. There's only so many places that can handle a group with the proper COVID restrictions when you're planning. That's one thing people are running into. But for them, there's only so many places that can handle a convention that big.
Yeah.
And have food to support everybody and be near an airport. I mean, there's a lot that goes into all of that.
There is.
So where could they even take us that 2,000 people could attend? Because wouldn't that be fun? But it's not like we can go to a concert.
Yeah, venue. I don't know if they'll ever go that high. I think they my guess, this is all my assumptions. I know nothing.
Yeah, me either. I know nothing. This is full disclaimer. We're just chatting.
I think they like the intimacy
of
900. I don't know if they'd ever go higher than that.
Yeah.
And I do think they were trying to do the 2 a year because of the demand.
Yes.
But I want to say it is probably really rough for them to try and plan 2 in a year.
I'm surprised they made it through intact, made it through doing Orlando so close to Dallas.
I know.
Like,
but the only thing is they did have, 2 years to plan both of them.
Yeah, and then Reno, but Reno's right on the heels.
Reno's right on the heels. I didn't expect one this close.
And people don't realize how much work this is. Like, yes, they have a crew, and yes, they're paying people to do things, but you don't understand the stress. If you've never pulled off a successful, huge wedding, then you're not even in, you don't get it. You don't get what's flying at you the whole time.
Right. I mean, it's a wedding on crack because it's a wedding, but there's more to coordinate than just the one meal.
Yes, absolutely. It's like, and I'm telling you, I was so happy and impressed and felt like it's a budget thing. You have to plan for it. It's, I don't want to say it's expensive because I actually felt like it was a great value, but it is a lot of cash at one time. I get that, but you could have made every minute count from the time you arrived until when you left. There was something to do, learn, discuss, talk to, building relationships. I mean, the thing was incredible, but it was like Disneyland on crack for cookiers.
Yeah.
Like, right?
I mean, I will say, like, you know, just because inflation and stuff like that, it's going to get more expensive. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you noticed, the tickets for Reno are a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I know there are going to be people complaining about that, but yeah, yes, you get so
see,
much.
Then I terrible about this because I am friends with a lot of different people that shop locally. And so I hear them complaining about that, but then I see what they're doing with their leisure money. And I'm thinking, we're adults. You're just making a decision about where to spend your money.
Exactly.
And no one's happy because honestly, who's really making enough money? No one's making enough money anymore because things aren't going up at the right pace, right? So I get it, but you just have to make the decision. And for me, this was critical. Like this event is not like, I don't want to miss it again.
And the thing is, if they, you know, like someone had said, you know, they need to just get more admin. Allison had said it, right? They need to hire more people to help them if they want to try and do 2 a year. Well, it's going to cost more then, right? You have to pay more if you want to get that second show.
I really would love to see one on each coast, or like at least where it wasn't like.
So they're moving it. So if you actually look at the past and where it goes, it moves around the country. And it actually does not surprise me that they went to Reno. So it was
because it was
Reno,
around.
which is the West Coast.
Yeah.
Then it was Louisville, which was center.
Yeah.
Then it was Florida, which was the east. And then it went back to Dallas, which was
so I was thinking that bodes well for all of us for the next time they have it. Although I hope they don't wait 18 months, right? Because I feel like I need to go.
I mean, the thing is, you do get different. You're going to get your people that go to everyone no matter what. But there are people who also don't want to travel so far.
Yep.
So, and I think that's also why they bounce it.
Yeah.
From, you know,
I wish I had known you when Louisville was going on. We could have met up and drove to that because that was only 8 hours from here.
I actually, I drove with Arlene.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. And it was 11. It took us 11 hours.
I can do 12. Anytime we need to drive and it's 12 hours, I can do 12 hours, no problem. But I'm just telling you, it's like when it's time for gas, you have to use the bathroom when we stop for gas because I'm not stopping again. Like I'm that person, but we stop every 2.5 hours, right? Like that's how far my car can go. So
we went pretty far. We didn't stop that often when we drove out.
And if I can get everyone to go to sleep while I'm driving that's in my vehicle, then I just bypass. Until someone wakes up. I don't even wake the sleeping bear. We just keep trucking. But I'm also used to that because it's a 2-day drive to Louisiana, 2-day drive when we go into Florida, right? So I guess I just got used to it. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
As long as people aren't fighting in the vehicle or causing a lot of drama or stress, let's just roll. Let's just keep going. Let's get there. I'm like, you can do whatever you want once we get there, but let's get there. And don't cause this train to slow down because we are going. We're going to be there and you're going to enjoy it. But this was so much fun. And thank you. I know I'm going to say it next week too, but thank you for creating something for our group and coming in and teaching in the group. And you're welcome to do that anytime you want to test something out new. You know, we love experiments in here. So if there's something else you want to come on, if you want to do a sugar pulling thing and you and Brooke want to do something, or you want to have a mini competition in the group, I'm all for it.
Like Brad, right?
Yeah, Brad does sugar pull too, right?
I don't know if he does sugar.
So I don't know. Look, my water globe is as far as I was willing to go into isomalt, because if you've watched any of the episodes, you know that even in my little 3-foot area, I call it the cookie Bermuda Triangle here, because I can have everything right here and I can still not find it during the live, right? I'll just set it down and it's like it disappeared. So isomalt in me, like having extra around, has to be very.
I actually built a violin. I built a violin out of isomalt.
You did not. Are you entering that anywhere, or did you?
I did. Here we go. Hold on.
Oh my gosh, Jen! I bet that was beautiful.
Once again in the magazine.
Oh, so this magazine, did you submit any pieces? That is gorgeous. Or did they just call you and say, hey, Can you make us this because it's going to fit in with this edition?
So this one was because I was part of a collaboration, and they were putting pieces from the collaboration into the magazine. For the ornament, they actually emailed me and asked me. They give you a theme that you
make us a piece. That's so much fun. And Carol is saying, "Hey Priscilla, how are you?" Carol is saying that isomalt's her choice. She loves it too. I love to watch you guys do pulled sugar and all of that, but I'm still a little maybe a little shy around it. Like I use it for things on cookies, like making raindrops and doing the dripping honey on a comb, on a honeycomb cookie, and doing the water globe and doing my piñata shaker cookies that I love to do. Right. But that's it. I don't want to. I haven't. Maybe somebody will teach a class at CookieCon, either a class or an elective, and if they do.
Sydney teaches classes at CookieCon all the time.
Did she have an add-on at Dallas? I don't remember that. She did? Or must have been sold out then. So I would go try it that way in person, watching what someone did, because I'm just afraid of the heat of it. But you guys do it like it's nothing. It's like you're just out, stringing cotton candy, the way you guys work with it. I'm like, it can't be that easy, but
it takes practice. But I fell into it, really quick.
Neither one of us are in Southern California. I'm in Virginia at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and Jenn is in Jersey. So no, are we talking like y'all though? Are we having that 90210 accent thing going? Because usually by this time of night, my mountain accent is rolling. Like you can't even talk to me. It's so bad.
I smell Nicholas on a cookie. Pulling ice malt's really easy.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier than blowing it. Blowing is hard.
That looks so much fun though, to make those like balloons with the isomalt and the bubbles. But maybe another time you can come back and do a pulled sugar piece or something. Would you be interested in that?
Sure.
Or even just running a live cam when you're working on a piece. If you just buzz me, we'll hit them up with an unexpected video. Those are always fun too, right? If you're ever working on something and you just are bored at home and.
Yeah, I've never actually done those.
What?
I get in my zone and I don't.
Really? All right. So here's the key. Just make sure you keep 3 foot clean. It doesn't, you guys don't even want to know what's around me right now because it's like this high because so much stuff has come in that I haven't done videos on. So it's organized chaos, right? So just keep a 3 foot area so you can go live whenever. Because there's a lot of times I can't go live because I can't show them what I'm working on. But then there's other times where I'm like, oh, I'm just playing around with this and let's chat. And I get so many people on the nights that it's just, they never know.
I know I need to do more lives.
Yeah.
I'm just exhausted. I have a full-time job. So it's so hard.
I know. And
my full-time job is not, if my full-time job was sugar and cake and
yeah, you say that, but let me tell you, going in at 2 a.m. and working until 10 a.m, like 5 and 6 days in a row, and then bringing stuff home to do at night because you're not done. You think it would be okay, but it's not. It still is a grind. It becomes the job and not the fun creative outlet. So it's different.
Right.
But I don't want your job either because aren't you doing a lot of financial management stuff?
No.
You're computer programming.
I'm a programmer.
Oh yeah. No, I don't want that job either. Somebody's life depends on that and whole
I love programming.
Yeah, no. You don't want me doing it or the elevator will crash, Jenn.
It's funny is everyone always says, why are you working here? Like, why don't you own a bakery? Why aren't you doing this for a job? And I'm like, one, I'll never make what I make.
Yes.
in a bakery.
You are right about that. Nope.
I like money. Yeah. And I actually
food. It doesn't matter what kind of food, bakery, food service, the trucks that people are doing, the restaurants, the profit margin is different than anything else. And although food is almost recession proof, it's still an extremely low profit margin for the amount of time. And you can never get people, you're the person creating and no one else is going to do something like, right? It's very custom. It becomes a very custom personal thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my job is pretty safe. I work for a hospital. I work on, I program their website. So I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, so we need you to be good because you literally have people's lives in your hand. So we don't need you all distracted. You can just come to us when you need a brain break. Okay?
Sounds good.
So I think I did a pretty good job, you guys, of not asking her questions that I was not supposed to ask her. But I will put this out there. When the whole thing's over and done, if you and Brooke want to come back on one night and dish about funny behind the scenes stuff, like I'm sure you didn't get stuck in elevators, but other things probably happened to you. If you want to come back on and have some fun dish time, you are welcome to do that. Okay.
So there's always going to be stuff that I can't.
And you can get Bradley and what was your other person's name? It's not Piper, right. Is it? What was it? No,
Piper was on Brad's team.
Okay, so Brad's in our group, I think, though, right?
I don't know. I don't know what everybody.
I feel like Bradley's in our group, but I don't know if your other two team members are. But anybody else that's on that stuff that wants to come in, if you guys all want to have, like, I'll just put you in a Zoom call and let you talk, and I won't talk. I know you find that hard to believe, but I won't. I'll just introduce you and exit camera and mute myself, and you guys can carry it and just talk about all the fun stuff because that must be hilarious.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I do recommend it.
Well, thank you. I think we both have to go to bed soon. It's almost 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yes.
So I'm going to end the stream. Let's say goodbye to everybody and you hang out with me for just a minute. And guys, we will see you soon. I hope you enjoyed tonight, and we will be coming back to you again next Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be recorded. So if you want to watch it later, you'll be able to watch it in Cookie Snack Attack, Seriously Sweet, or on Jenn's Facebook page at Prima Cakes and Cookies, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, Jenn, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We'll talk in a second, but thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Bye.